I want you to stop right now. Stop paying due diligence fee until you watch this video. This will save you tons and tons of thousands of dollars in the long term. Now, if you're new to what is due diligence fee and you're wondering, Jeff, what is this due diligence fee you're talking about? Now, due diligence fee is a negotiable, non-refundable fee that the buyer decides to pay to the seller for the seller to take the property off the market, to give the buyer the opportunity to perform what they call a due diligence period. The issue is, this fee can go anywhere from $5,000 to over $15,000 in a very competitive market. As a matter of fact, in my own recent ordeal, I would say, I have a property I was willing to take a pee on and see if it's worth my investment. Location was good. The occupancy rate was okay. Price was not so great, and so that required that we needed some form of negotiation. The seller says he wants at least $2,500 off the bat to take the property off the market. Now, that is a fee that is non-refundable, and there is EMD, your earnest deposit, which is anywhere from 2% of the property price itself. So you can pay anywhere from $6,000 to over God knows what. But why am I concerned about due diligence fee? It's because imagine you going into a transaction and not realizing you're losing money up front. That's how serious this is. And so there's a need for us to identify and address this issue. Why is due diligence fee an important point for us to discuss tonight and understand that there's a gap? I see an arbitrage opportunity here. And so if there is a gap in the system that is backed by law, it begins to, ask a few questions. Why is this fee there? Why will I, a buyer, go into a deal? And I'm going to explain this very clearly to you. According to the state of North Carolina, based on the Realtors Association documentation, the seller of a property has three choices about his property. They can answer yes, they can answer no about the condition of the property, or they can say NR. NR means no representation. Now, the implication of NR means the buyer can choose NR. That means that if they know about if they know about their property's condition, if there's an issue with it, or they know and they decide not to tell you, their buyer. So the seller can decide on their own if the property condition is poor or they have issues with the properties. They can fail not to disclose that to you. It's your job as the buyer to go and make those inquiries. But hold on. By the time you start making those inquiries, you've already put yourself on the wrong foot from the get-go. And how do I mean? Remember, you're paying what they call a due diligence fee. And that fee is non-refundable. So you're paying out of pocket anywhere from $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to over $15,000. Some even more. All just because of a due diligence period that the state requires. Now, if you go to section E of this same documentation, from E2 to E7, I'm going to read that documentation out, word for word, so we understand the implication of what we're discussing right now. Section E under land and zoning, E2 says, the question to the seller, is the property in violation of any local zoning ordinances, restrictive covenants, or local land use restrictions, including setback requirements? The seller chooses NR, meaning non-representation. Question E3, is the property in violation of any building codes, including the failure to obtain required permits for room additions or other changes / improvements? Again, the seller selected NR. E4, is the property subject to any utility or other easements, shared driveways, party walls, encroachment from or on adjacent property or other land use restrictions? Again, the seller selected NR. Friends, you have to understand the gravity of what we're discussing right now. NR means the seller might know and refuse to disclose, or they have no knowledge of it. Either way, you're losing money up front. What if there was a better way of going into a deal with full insight, full knowledge, understanding what you're going into. That's where InvestFusion comes into play. Imagine utilizing InvestFusion to let you know by going through all the databases and identifying if there's any potential violations, land or zoning violations, encroachment, easement on a property, and identifies that. What does that do? It prevents you from losing your due diligence fee. Number one. Number two, it identifies the previous appraisal report done on that property. Why is that appraisal report important? For two things. One, it lets you understand and capture the actual living square footage. That's one. Number two, it identifies the previous appraisal property value. So if the listing price of that property doesn't correspond or meets the former appraisal value, you know this is an overpriced property. Therefore, built-in equity is almost negligible. You want to go into a deal with built-in equity and enough meat in the bone for yourself. Friends, I'm going to stop here tonight. If you find this exciting, if you understand that this is a gold mine opportunity right now, imagine you understanding a process that prevents you from losing anywhere from $5,000 to over $15,000 from the get-go. Save you time, save you heartache, save you money. If you're interested to be among the select few, we're giving opportunities to over 30 individuals to test InvestFusion. Make sure you comment access below this video and I will put you on the waiting list to get access to InvestFusion. Until next time, thanks for watching.